Okay, welcome back, everybody. My name is Jacob Berry. I help small and large power sports and motorcycle dealerships with their online process and strategies. And today we're going to talk about the perfect appointment setting process for your internet department. So, why are appointments the big first commitment in the sale process? And why is having a structured appointment setting process in the dealership one of your keys to success? Well, we're going to answer that in today's little segment. Okay. So, let's talk about what an appointment is, first of all. An appointment to us is the first of one of many big commitments that a customer will make to a dealership if just asked. And is it so weird to ask for an appointment to come in and sit on a motorcycle? Why not? They do it with their dentist appointment, they do it with their doctor's appointment, they do it when they get their oil changed, right? So why wouldn't coming in for a VIP experience with your sales management team to look at many different options of vehicles that you have available a big deal, right? They'll get the attention when it's there. So when you get a customer to say yes to an appointment, it's the first of many commitments that they'll make throughout this buying journey. The next one would be, yes, I'm here. The next one would be, yes, I'll buy it. And the next one would be, yes, I'll sign this paperwork, right? So that's ultimately the goal that we're trying to get to. The yes, I will commit to that day and time over the phone is the very first one. Okay. And having a structured appointment setting process will make a huge impact for you and your dealership. And we hope to go over all those with you today. So let's kind of get into it. When it comes to the appointment setting process, it's usually going to be coming from one of four places. When you get a new lead to your dealership, you're typically going to reach out to the customer in one of a few ways. We always practice the phone first philosophy, the outbound phone call, if you will, right? Because we're getting more form leads than we are just about anything else. Again, a form lead is something that someone filled out and it is now sent to you. Typically, it's in your CRM. It may or may not have a phone number, but for the ones that do include a phone number or a phone number that you can find throughout your system from a previous engagement, that's the philosophy that you want to follow. I need to call this person first. Okay. And before you're even setting an appointment, let's think about how we're going to maybe run through a checklist before we dial, right? The first thing would be, how are you going to open the call? Right? How are you going to pronounce their name? How are you going to introduce yourself? How are you going to introduce your dealership? And how are you going to basically build rapport with somebody that you've never even met? When it comes to building rapport, how do you even do that? Well, you can always talk about the big three: family, sports, and pets, right? Those are always the three biggest things that someone can build rapport with if they've got nothing else there. Now, quite frankly, if you're an enthusiast working in a power sports or motorcycle dealership, and so is your customer because they want to buy one of your products, that clearly is the best one. But not too often do those match, and sometimes it becomes a pissing contest, right? So talk about family, talk about sports, talk about pets, right? Specifically dogs. Okay. The next line item on a checklist is, are you going to have to provide pricing or trade or payment estimations, right? Is it even necessary? Is the customer even asking for it? Now, I'm not saying that you should, but you should be prepared for it if those questions do arise and you're left there having a conversation where they ask you, what is the price or what do you think I can get for trade? You're going to have to be prepared for all of those things. Secondarily, when you're asking for the commitment of an appointment date and time, are you prepared for any objections that they may have, right? Objections, they need rebuttals. That's basically what they are. An objection is a brick wall that the customer has not decided that they feel comfortable with saying yes to whatever you're asking, and they're going to put up that brick wall. A rebuttal helps just bring down that wall brick by brick so that you can have an honest conversation about the next steps in this buying journey. That's all it is. Now, we do this every single day, meaning a trained phone professional at your dealership is calling many, many different customers every single day. They should have rebuttals built up. And if they don't, let us know. I've got some resources for you. You can even write them down as they come up, right? And use it on the next customer and the next one after that. Rebuttals are something that you should have in your back pocket, ready to deploy at a moment's notice if an objection comes up. Now, let's just say that they, don't answer their phone. Okay. Well, then the next stage of how we would want to communicate with this customer would be through an SMS. Now, there's a couple things I want to say about the SMS or the text, some pros and some cons. Well, some big pros are 98% of everybody's text are opened and read immediately. Now, whether you're a business, whether you're person to person, most people will open and most people will read a text message that comes to their phone, right? 45% of our customers, a little less than half, prefer actually to do an entire conversation through text, right? That's just how they're conditioned. They speak to everyone else in their lives through text. Why can't they talk to the dealership through text? I get it. Uh, Text is great for messages, pictures, and some small video, right? Be careful of the video. It can't be too big or else it just errors out. But certainly if you want to take a picture of yourself with the vehicle itself, do a quick walk around, throw in an alternative vehicle, have a nice little video message, all that can be done with texting very easily. And again, it's open and read immediately. Whether you get a reply or not, that's up to the customer and how effective your messaging would. Now, here's some cons, right? You definitely want to avoid texting from your own phone, meaning you, the salesperson, right? If you're a management or if you're a general manager, you might be in a little different situation because you're higher level. But for your average salesperson or internet department person, you should be using a company provided CRM connected, uh, you know, system that should be managed and be held accountable for. A phone in your pocket that a salesperson is texting a customer back and forth, there is no accountability to that unless there's a problem that the customer comes up with. So again, it's a centralized system that has accountability. You can review the messages. If Johnny, the salesperson, is off for the next couple of days, on vacation, sick, broken arm, whatever, you can pick up that conversation. That's all through your CRM. And so again, that's a culture thing. Now, along with those lines is that if you are using a system available texting platform, you should be following some opt-out protocols, right? Now we're talking about some kind of legal or some guideline stuff. Is you do need an opt-out, whether that is a permission to opt-in system that asks you if it's okay to proceed with the conversation, or it's got an opt-out message at the end of whatever message you sent, right? It allows the customer to opt out if they feel that this is not what they want to do. Okay, and that's totally cool. Now you might have some fines for that stuff if you're not following those rules. The FCC, it does occasionally get complaints from automotive and power sports dealers that there's some abuse in the texting there that don't have opt out or that don't use company processes or systems that kind of keep you on the rails, if you will. And they have come down on dealerships with fines up to $10,000. So it is some serious stuff, and certainly don't leave it in the hands of your salespeople, which are one of the highest revolving positions in the industry. Okay. Now, let's say they don't have a phone or a text. What are we going to do? We're going to email them, obviously, right? So when we're emailing the before you send checklist that you want to kind of keep as a guideline is pretty simple, right? So let's just talk about an email real quick, and I'm going to spell this out in its very basic functionality. Okay, an email has a couple different components to make it successful. First, you have to have a good system that sends it, right? If you look at any of your personal inboxes, Gmail, Yahoo, Hotmail, whatever is out there, right? Not a company email, a personal email through one of the major providers. It's got a pretty good junk or spam filtering system. And it's pretty good. If you look at it, it's pretty good at deciphering what's what. Every once in a while, you get a spam or a advertisement that slips through that you don't want, right? But if you're looking at a communication that comes from a dealership, or if you're the dealership sending that communication out, it needs to be a good sending system. It can't be black flagged from any of these email systems. It can't look like spam. It has to be a good sending system. Okay. So that's step one, is have a system that can send it properly to a customer's inbox. The next step would be to actually see it in their inbox for them to open. Okay. The open is the second step in a properly put together email that engages with the customer, right? They have to open it. And usually that's done through the subject line. Now, my first tip in this checklist is let's try to make it an engaging subject line on that email. And I always prefer to put their first name in the subject line, like, hello, Jacob, your XYZ model at XYZ Power Sports, right? So include their name on it so it speaks to them and that they can kind of see it, they connect it, and they go, oh, okay, this is meant for me, right? I'm going to open it. I'm going to click on it. I'm going to take the next step. Now, the third part is them for them to, read it contextually, right? They're reading what you have written. They're looking at any attachments, any images or links, right? So they're now soaking in this email that they've opened, and that's the third step. The fourth step would be to actually reply or call you back, right? So it's a kind of a 4-step process, right? Send, open, read, and then engage, right? Now you may think that it's just, hey man, I'm just sending a message and it is what it is, right? Well, there's a little bit of a skill set, a little bit of an art to it. So some of the things that you want to include in the third part of them reading it is maybe answer, have them answer response-driven questions. I said earlier, some of my favorite questions that I love to ask customers while I'm on the phone or on an email is, what are you currently riding, right? Assume that they've got something, whether it's a trade or not. What part of town do you live in? Assume that they're local, right? Are you paying cash or taking advantage of our awesome super low financing, right? One of those would be a good answer driven response. I would provide some links to some alternative vehicles in this email. We got to keep this email short and sweet, but there is an artful way that you can slip in. Hey, here's a used alternative to this new one that you selected online. Or, hey, here's a different option, or one that we've got on sale, or one that's got accessories on the side by side that you picked out, right? If you have a little bit of room in your email, try to explain a little bit about how the internet process works or how the sales process works and how it benefits them. And it can sound something like that. Mr. Customer, the next step in this is that we would have a quick conversation to set a time with you to meet with my management team here at the dealership. We'll show you XYZ, we'll show you ABC, and we'll just take it from there. How does that sound? Right. And then, more importantly, more modern is shooting a quick video of yourself. You may be consuming this on audio only. You may be consuming it on video, looking at my face. But right now, I am recording something that I'm putting out there for the world to see. Not a lot of people are comfortable with that. If you can kind of get past putting your face on camera, and I don't like it just as much as you do, but having a quick video to introduce yourself that you can attach to this email. Hi, Mr. Customer. This is Jacob. I'm over at XYZ Power Sports. Here's my selfie in front of the vehicle behind me. This is the one that you're looking at. I can't wait to talk to you. Please call me back at this number. Right. And so that's one of the ways that you can kind of, stick your head above the crowd and make your dealership, make your response stand out from all of the crap that they're going to get, because assume that they're shopping multiple dealerships beyond yours. And then here's a bonus. We kind of skipped over the phone and the text to get to the email because we know we'll probably email 100% of our customers. But if they do not have a phone number that came through on the lead form, or you don't have one on file, let's make sure to ask them in that email. Hey, Mr. Customer, we can wrap this up in a couple quick minutes. What's the best phone number to reach you at? Is it your home, your work, or your cell number? Always ask them for the phone number if it's missing. Okay. Now be the winner. I mean, response time matters. What I just explained sounded like a lot. It's a phone call with all these things that you got to do before you make the actual phone call to talk to them. And if that doesn't happen, then you're in a text, right? How to craft the perfect text and keep it short, include some things, don't include some things. And if that doesn't work, or it doesn't have a phone number to get to, now you got an email and all the things that I just listed there. All of this takes time, but it has to be quick because response time matters, right? Who can be the fastest with the most quality type of response wins the customer 100% of the time. When it comes to appointment setting, just kind of bring this full circle. That's the next step in all this once you get a hold of them, right? So when I talk about appointment setting, I want you to try to take it on the first swing, right? Be prepared to take it on the first swing. If you get them on the phone, if you get them to reply to a text, if they reply to an email, let's take it on the swing, right? You want to use proper greetings with your name, personalize it, right? And then just make sure that everything is followed up with in the CRM. Everything is logged, everything is accounted for. Okay. Now, the scenario that I just gave with the outbound phone call, with the outbound text and the outbound email, that is for the internet lead type of opportunity that a customer will get, meaning the customer filled something out online and it was sent to you, and now you're responding to it. Well, what do we do about phone ups, right? Phone ups are the hottest leads, and they're typically the most mishandled. And some statistics out there from mystery shopping is most of the time a customer is not asked their first name. They're not asked to confirm the phone number. I know we always rely on caller ID on the shop phone, but you might want to ask, am I talking to you on your home, your work, or your cell number, right? What is the phone number for the best way to get a hold of you? They do little or no qualifying, right? We need to do qualifying on these phone ups. Again, the phone up is one type of opportunity versus an internet lead simply because of the time difference between them. Think about it this way. When you get an internet lead, a form fill, and it hits your CRM, you probably have a few minutes to, spit out your gum, take a drink of water, walk to the back of the room and back, and then, breathe. Now I'm ready to go, right? And now I'm going to make the outreach to the customer, and they better be ready for my phone call. Well, you're flipping it in reverse, right? When a customer calls you and then immediately is, hey, what's this? And do you have this available? And what can I do with this? Right? You don't have any of the luxury of sitting around and being prepared for that. You have to just get it while the getting's good and do it right there on the first swing. That's what I meant by that. So once you, get the name and the phone number, once you try to take that swing and set an appointment 100% of the time, you're doing your qualifying, your needs assessment, you're getting management involved after multiple attempts. Those types of customers, the inbound phone up customers, have the highest closing rate, and you will sell more appointments from it. Now, all this comes to the appointment. Okay. Now, the appointment is crucial because it is part of our sales process that we guide the customers through the journey of this digital sale, if you will. So the way that we train our appointment setting technique is using the closed-ended questions, the this or that, the time A, the time B, the option one, the option two, versus asking, what time can you come in, or does this weekend work good for you to come in, right? Those are all yes or no questions. I'm really just trying to guide them into answering one or the other answers that I've given. We call that a funnel. And we call it the appointment funnel because we're taking a large, infinite amount of time and we're trying to shrink it down verbally, psychologically, to a very specific point of time. The next time you set yourself a dentist appointment or a doctor appointment and it has a really good trained appointment setter on the phone with you, just kind of listen in on how they do it. They'll typically offer one or two times, that are alternative so that it makes it a little easier for you, the customer in this case, to pick. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to let the customer choose their own times, but they're only given one of two options, right? And so the best way that I can give this example is, does this week or next week work best for you? Does today or tomorrow work best for you? Does today's morning or afternoon work best for you? Does 2:15 or 2:45 work best for you? Right? So I'm giving you two options. We're working our way down to a very specific point in time today at 2:15, and that is our commitment time that we're going to get the customer to write it down. Okay. I would say that you cannot and should not and would not accept soft appointments. What is a soft appointment? It's the exact opposite of a hard appointment, right? It's, oh, I'll be in after work sometime around 5:30, or I'll come in on the weekend if you guys are open, or I think I have some time available next week. Those are soft, right? And 9 times out of 10, they don't even show up anyways. So you might as well take another swing, re-explain the process. Mr. Customer, the reason why we need to do this is so that when you come in at our dedicated time and date, we have our management team ready. I'll have the vehicle available for you, as well as a couple different options. If you have a trade, we can do an appraisal at that time. If you're looking at finance options, we can do a quick application here on the floor and just give you all the information to make the best decision on your next motorcycle purchase. That doesn't sound so bad, does it? Right? Okay, great. Does today or tomorrow work best for you? And then you restart the process over again. So you want a hard appointment. That is the way to make that stick. And when you think about it, when you increase your appointment set, you increase your appointments shown. And when you increase your appointments shown, you increase your appointments sold, right? If you're driving more human beings to your showroom front door and they're walking in and they're asking for you, a good majority of those will sell as long as the sales team does their job. And that's closing them, walk-arounds, the finance part, right? And again, I stress, get management involved if you are having a tough time. Now, when it comes to other techniques for appointment setting, is once you've gone through all this trouble of getting the customer on a 10 to 15-minute phone call to this point of saying, yes, 2:15 tomorrow is when I'll come in, great. The next biggest step will ensure your show rate goes in a positive way more than anything else that I've talked about in this entire session. And that, my friends, is what we call selling in writing. Sell the name in writing. When a customer is told something verbally, it's easy to forget. I think that you and we have this problem in our normal lives, in our business lives. We don't retain a lot of what we hear. We retain a lot of what we see, and certainly more when we write it down and we commit it to the memory. But taking an audible, a verbal time and saying, can you be here at 2:15 tomorrow? And we say, yeah. It somehow gets lost. And so what I'm trying to tell you is that selling your name in writing, which means telling the customer to get a piece of paper out and a pen, and we're going to give them some things to write down, kind of like a confirmation code, if you will. That right there will improve your show rates more than anything else that you do. I guarantee you that. The biggest reason why customers don't show for their appointments, the number one reason, I forgot. So what happens is when you tell a customer, hey, go ahead and get out that pen and paper, I'll hold. And then there's an awkward silence and they go get one, right? Okay, great. And then you want to give them a list of things to write down and make sure that they write them down. If they're driving and you get them to pull over, brownie points for you, right? The point is that we're trying to get them to commit it to memory by writing it in their own handwriting, and they're seeing it visually on their side of the phone versus us just telling them audibly, right? You want to give them your name. Okay. My name is Jacob. I am at XYZ Power Sports. If you need to give an address, go right ahead or give some cross streets. The appointment date and time, we're set for tomorrow. That is, month, date, a month and day at 2:15. You want to give them your manager's name. When you come in, Mr. Customer, make sure you ask for me and my manager, Bob. Either one of us will be able to help you out. Okay. Now, once you have that on their side of the phone written down, you now have the most solid set appointment possible known to humankind. Of course, you're going to text them a reminder. Of course, you're going to give them a phone call in the morning to remind them verbally again. Of course, you're going to have an email sent out to them. But if you could get them to write it down, that will improve your show rates tenfold. I guarantee it. Now, when it comes to the confirmation of an appointment, it is super important to have your management involved in that. I've coached a lot of teams and I've seen management kind of let the internet department do what they do. And if that's your prerogative as a dealership, totally cool. Me, if it was my dealership, I would want to be involved in knowing what business I've got booked for that day before they even come in. And I'm going to lend a hand to my people to ensure that we can get a little better show rate if my management team also confirms the appointment. It would maybe sound something like this. Hey, Mr. Customer, my name is Jacob. I am the manager at XYZ Power Sports. I saw that Sally set an appointment for you today at 2:15. I just wanted to make sure that you're still available to show. I am very happy to be meeting with you later on. We're going to have a great time and show you a couple different bikes. You good? Great. I'll see you later. Right? Something as easy as that. The confirmation from a manager is super powerful and helps shore up any doubts that the customer had about setting an appointment with them, whether it was forced sounding or not. Now, in terms of measuring it, I gave an example before about the 5x50. Now, again, this is how it plays in. The more appointments that you set, you should be sitting at about a 50% appointment show rate. Why not more? Why not less? Well, I'll tell you why. Okay. Is that if you have a high percentage of shows compared to appointments set, that typically means, and I'm talking in percentages, that typically means that the internet department is only really setting appointments for customers that they know are going to show anyways, who really, really wanted to show, and they're not setting everything that they could, right? You got to set the good and the bad. You got to take swings on everybody, and not everyone's going to show. Now, if you've got a super low appointment set rate, you can look at it the other way, right? Our people are packing appointments. Maybe they're forcing them, or maybe the customer is just not aware that they have set an appointment. All those are technique. All those are communication style. Those are all things to work on. But what we would be left with is a low show rate to appointment set. Okay. So the effectiveness of appointment setting process really comes between those two numbers, and you can tell a story one way or the other: high percentage, low percentage. That's why we like to keep it somewhere in the middle, right around 50%. So what I'm saying, just to kind of wrap up this little segment, is that the appointment is a tried and true process for dealerships to book out their business and to have a revolving function around who's coming in today, right? It's something that is not new. It's been around forever, and it is used in multiple industries to try to organize how a business is going to intake a flow of customers for that day. Now, in retail, I know that we're trying some different things like some quotes over the phone, or we're trying to do the entire deal over the phone. There's nothing wrong with that. That's perfectly fine. It's not very efficient, meaning you won't get very many done. And the customer has all the leverage in the world if they already know what your pricing is, even before they get there. I'm not saying withhold anything from them, but I'm saying, is it even necessary? Are customers only buying off a price, or are they buying also off of an experience? And whatever experience you can give them is the one that's going to make or break this appointment process. That's why we tend to lead into that more versus just doing everything cradle to grave over the phone. Hey man, your bike's ready. You're already approved. It's X amount of dollars per month. Bring in $1,000 and I'll hand you your keys, right? I think we're a little far off on that one. I think we need more tools and more education online with how customers buy stuff. Right now, a lot of them don't do this every day. A lot of them buy bikes or power sports products every couple of years. So why wouldn't they want an experience? It's a great time to kind of show them what your dealership's all about at that time. So the appointment is how we get there. All right. You want to maximize your customer's experience any way you can. Why not set it up as a VIP appointment? You got to individualize your message and your customer's journey just to stay ahead of the competition. And you got to use multiple touch points and never give up. That 21-day process that we preach is something that it's very fast, it's very intense, but it's efficient, and we never give up on it. We go the full 21-day route. And finally, the biggest thing is that after starting your internet department, putting all these people in, getting them trained, creating your strategy, managing your CRM, setting appointments, having them show, having them sold, the reporting is what's going to make or break this ROI feeling that most operators have, right? Is my BDC / internet department / digital lead team / whatever you're calling them, are they making me money or are they costing me money? I think in the initial sense of the term, they will cost you some money in the very first beginning because you're putting nothing but people behind it, technology behind it. You got to buy computers, you got to buy phones, you got to have office space for these people to work out of. It is a costly adventure. But what you'll get in the long run is a well-oiled machine that is process-oriented, that gives you a leg up on your competition, that has this thing called an internet team that handles a volume of lead greater than your sales team and manages it productively for you. So that's my 2 cents on it. That's how to build an internet department. That's what it is. If you need any help with that stuff, let me know. We're always here. We can talk to you about what your current one looks like. If you don't have one, if you do have one, anywhere in between, we offer free mystery shopping. We will go and inspect your process, kind of tell you where we can maybe make some adjustments. We can help you with all that stuff. Give us a call at Internet Sales Coaching. Give us an email. Check us out online. Subscribe, like, all that stuff. And we appreciate you.
Dealers, discover the power of MotoHunt's Inventory Ads program, designed to drive leads and sales for your motorcycle dealership. Our dynamic ads automatically showcase your current in-stock inventory on Google and Meta products catalogs, reaching buyers exactly when they're searching. With targeted ad campaigns, seasonal adjustments, and real-time performance tracking, you can optimize your ad spend and see impressive results. These are not your traditional SEM campaigns. These are product ads that show customers real-time motorcycles and power sports for sale and direct them directly to your landing page. Sign up today and get a marketing edge over your competition with MotoHunt.